All the fun stuff that happens at baseball games, fireworks, giveaways, you name it, they invented it.
We're going to do something that are going to make people sit up and take notice. It was street theater wrapped around a ball game.
What could possibly go wrong?
10,000 people on that field.
Oh, that's what could go wrong.
Disco Demolition night at Comiskey in 1979 resulted in an on-field riot and a forfeit by the White Sox. The idea for the promotional event came from the son of Sox owner Bill Veeck. He hired his son Mike to orchestrate stunts to pack the seats. The Veeck name became both legendary and notorious in professional baseball and is being told in a new Netflix documentary, The Saint of Second Chances.
Mike Veeck joins us live now. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Good morning. How are you? I'm working on my Barbie neck, by the way.
Yeah, it's looking good.
Yeah, we those long necks. Mike, walk us through, at this period of time, it's 1979. There's this kind of backlash against disco, and you and a couple other guys come up with this idea. What did you hope was going to happen?
Well, I hope that it would do what it did, except in a different fashion.
Of course, yeah.
A lot of people showed up. We had done a disco promotion about a month before and had 24,000. So we thought we should give the same amount of time to rock and roll fans. And the mistake I really made was I was 28. I had no idea that Steve Dahl had this army of people who were going to respond to anything that he said. So when 100,000 people show up, at first, of course, you're arrogant. You think, hey, I did a pretty good job. And so the way it ended up, it was not what I had in mind.
Earlier, I talked about your dad's grandstand managers day, where people in the stands could vote on decisions during the game. And I wonder how did the rest of baseball look at it? Did they look at it as, hey, this guy's making more money, or did they feel like it was sort of not taking the game seriously enough?
Well, because it's into my dad's home market, I'd like to address this, because what actually the owners did at that time, they used the promotions and the zany gimmicks and, the Eddie Goodell, all to obfuscate the fact that my dad was a terrific baseball guy and understood the game. So from that standpoint, every Veeck has always kind of resented the emphasis. People refer to him as the P.T. Barnum, which is not true. Barnum thought there was a sucker born every second. My dad was for the fans because he was a fan till the day he died.
What I thought was interesting, I was reading about your father, is that there was a time when you had owners that weren't multimillionaires or potentially even billionaires, and that your father was one of the last people that was able to own a team without having that massive wealth behind him.
Yeah, one of the things that makes you proud as you look back over the people who raised you or that you admired was the fact that he was such a scuffler. He would put groups together and organize and then buy a ball club, and 4 or 5 years later, sell it for a profit. So he really and Calvin Griffith were the last of the dinosaurs who actually were working stiffs to make, money doing what they loved. And there wasn't this emphasis on money, which I think made him kind of the folk hero that, at least to me, he is.
He gave a lot of people opportunity. First female professional baseball player, first black in the American League. Was that also driven by simply promotion, or was there some sincerity behind it?
Well, if you're raised by a very strong woman, as I was, and you have very strong sisters, as I do, it makes you aware that people need platforms. And of course, growing up with my dad and the Dobie legacy of the first black in the American League, by osmosis, you'd be a moron if you didn't learn that people just need a chance to demonstrate their capabilities. And to address the Isle of Borders, the first woman to pitch professionally, we sold out some 600 times in a row in St. Paul. We didn't need Isla to sell tickets, which is why she wanted to come and do it, because she was a ball player. She was a pitcher, and she wasn't a gimmick. She's really the one who set the trail for what's happening now.
After disco demolition, talk about how you were able to climb your way back up, especially with the St. Paul, with the St. Paul Saints, and you know why I guess some people probably would give up, but you did not do that.
Well, that's very kind of you.
Yeah.
I didn't give up because I had further down to go. So I was like a man doing a parachute jump without it ever opening. I had to hit rock bottom. I had this tremendous feeling of guilt and failure.
Mm-hmm.
And once you come to grips with the fact that you're not really that significant, the beauty of the world is that we're all in this together. And once I forgave myself, it became easy to try to start to rebuild, what's left of your life. Darryl Strawberry, when he played with us in St. Paul, put it the most beautifully. I was just being. He said, I learned to love baseball again in St. Paul, and starting at the bottom after the difficulties just made me realize how wonderful this thing we call life is, and how important it is to take every possible and use it, utilize it.
You can see The Saint of Second Chances on Netflix starting September 19th. You can also get more at MikeVeeck.com. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you so much. Nice day in Chicago. I miss you.
Time